In today's video, I'm going to be back in electric car driving with the E63, and we'll be taking on the track to see how well this thing handles. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. Let's launch this thing in 3, 2, 1, blast off. Now, I think this thing should do okay because I don't remember having any problem with the handling with this thing. But I know it can oversteer at times, but we'll just have to see. But I don't remember this thing having any bad handling or super hard to control, but we'll just have to see. So far it seems like it's taking the turn. It's very fast, gotta give it that, it's very fast. I just looked down and I'm doing like 274 already, but let's see how this thing takes the turn. Okay, little tire squeeze there, oversteer as well, oversteer. It's doing okay, still taking the turn. More oversteered. Well, they just try to keep it straight, but it's doing okay so far. Nothing too uncontrollable, even though we were going a bit fast into those turns. I think that's what caused the oversteer, but so far it's doing okay, and that's what I like to see. I don't think I have or had any problem with the Mercedes in this game in terms of handling. I think all of them handles decently. Some of them do oversteer, some of them do understeer, but they're not that really hard to control, if I'm remembering correctly. I think the hardest car that I had or drive so far was definitely the Viper. That was my previous video. That thing was a nightmare. But this thing is doing okay so far. It's oversteering, but it's not oversteering to the point where it's just gonna like swing you into the barrier. It's trying to, but it's very controllable. As long as you counter steer on time and don't give it too much gas, you're pretty much okay. So far I haven't crashed this thing, even though I did get close to the barrier a few times. But I also changed the sound on this thing. I'm also realizing it sounds a lot different in first person. If I were to switch to third person, which I'm not going to do right now, you could hear the difference. So nice little attention to detail. But so far this thing is doing pretty well. I mean, it's flying through most of the turns, even though it's oversteering. It's doing pretty well. Also has some good brakes. I did upgrade the brakes as well. It's very important to make sure you upgrade the brakes. Going fast is one thing, but slowing down and stopping on time is another thing that you also have to consider in every moment. Okay, it's doing pretty well. And it's not oversteering as much. I mean, we made it past most of the major turns, which is pretty good. Once I'm testing a car and it make it past most of the major turns, pretty much gonna say it's handling okay, because if we can get through those turns okay, then it should do good on the other turns. The only way it would do bad is if we do something stupid, which is not impossible, to be honest. Because a lot of times I'm driving on this track and I'm going super fast into turns and braking at the wrong point. But over time I've got better, because like the more you play the game and you memorize the track, the more easier it's for you to know the big turns or the turns that you will need a lot of braking. Like this turn here you gotta brake, but it's not that crazy amount of brake, or you don't need to slow down that crazy amount. Versus it was other turn, this turn you don't even need to brake, you can just gas it all the way through. This turn you might need a little brake. There we go. And this turn that's about to come up, you're gonna need a lot of brakes. A lot of brakes. This is one of the turns where I see most persons crash. First time I was playing or like getting used to the track, I crashed on that turn a lot as well. So I'm not gonna say it's only other players I see crashing there. I crashed there a few times, but as I said, the more you play and get used to the map, you kind of know the turn that you don't want to try to go too fast into. This one you gotta brake as well. But it also depends on the car as well, because some cars can take the turns a lot faster than some can. Getting some oversteer there. I think because going up the hill as well. Got the weight transfer. But so far this thing is dominating the track. I like what I'm seeing. It's handling very well. taking the turns like butter, very smooth. And even if it does oversteers at time, you can still control it. I mean, I can't remember, but I don't know if the older this model or the newer E63 is the better handling. I think I took the newer one on the track already, if I'm not mistaken. I think I did, but I can't really compare it right now because I don't remember how the newer one handled. But I think they're pretty similar in handling. But I can't remember exactly how the newer one handled. But I know I didn't have any major problem with it, else I would definitely remember if I crashed it. Ooh, too much gas there. And I'm pretty sure we hit a bump in the road while giving it gas that really changed the angle there that I was trying to get. But it's just a little love tap. This isn't a major wreck, so I'm not gonna be too hard on it there. But another thing, you gotta be very careful and try to memorize where the bumps on the track is, because if you don't and you hit a bump in a rear wheel drive car and you're going pretty fast, things can go bad pretty quickly. Just like it did there with me hitting the barrier. Even though I was counter steering, the bump kind of messed with the tires on the ground, so even though I was counter steering, it didn't really make much difference until that like tire regained traction or contact with the ground. So I gotta be very careful of those bumps, because if you hit a bump and the tires aren't touching the ground, it doesn't matter if you're counter steering or which way you're turning the wheel. If the tires are on the ground, it's not gonna make any difference, to be honest. You're just gonna go wherever the car is pointed. So you gotta be very careful whenever you hit like a little hill or a bump. Like this spot here is also bumpy. I could see the car going up and down there. And there's a jump coming up somewhere around here. I know it is. I kinda like, you just know if you play the game a lot. Oh, what the heck? I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened there, but we definitely bumped off the barrier. That's the second love tap. Eased in. Oh, oversteer. We're eased in. More oversteer, but we're good. We're good. I'm gonna start sending a bit harder now. Really push it. Okay, every time I'm pushing it, I'm pretty much oversteering through the turns. But it's expected because I'm gassing it while turning, so of course I'm gonna have oversteer. But as long as I can control it, it's no problem. And as long as we don't hit a bump again, we're good. But this thing is doing pretty well. Despite the oversteer, it's very controllable. The oversteer is gonna try to like ruin your day as long as you counter steer on time and do what you're supposed to do. Pretty sure you can just slide through most of these turns if you want to. Cause even though I'm going through the turns okay, I can definitely push the car a lot more, which is gonna cause it to oversteer a lot more. But if you want to, I mean, you can. You gotta be very careful on the grass as well, because the grass can mess you up, especially if the car is pointed sideways. Okay, but we pretty much made it to the end of the track in one piece without any flips. We did bounce off the barrier a few times, but that's okay. There we go. Wasn't too bad. Car did handle pretty well. Seeing a lot of oversteer from time to time, but the only oversteer is if you try to push it super hard through the turn, which isn't really the car's fault, to be honest. Okay, let's slow down before we pass our exit. Okay, I locked I locked up the front tires there. I don't know why I was holding the brakes for so long. Should have let go of the brakes a long time ago. That was my fault there. Oh my gosh. I think that's the second time I had a crash coming into that pit there while recording. But that's definitely my fault. I can't blame the calm there any at all. Now I'm gonna show you guys the setup real quick. This thing's, I'll just rev it up real quick so you guys can hear the sound from the outside. Sounds very realistic. I like it a lot. But now I'm gonna show you guys setup real quick. You can pause the video if you want to. Yeah, so that's pretty much the setup. If you didn't really get enough time to see it, you can pause the video of course, or you can always rewind. But based on handling of this thing, I'd give it a 8.5. and I'm giving it a 8.5 because it handled pretty well. Don't get me wrong, 8.5 is pretty good handling, but the oversteer is something that doesn't make it very beginner friendly. I mean, if you know how to like oversteer and control power cell and stuff like that, it's not gonna really be a problem. But it also depends on your device as well, because if the game lags while you're doing oversteer and things like that, it can make it very bad. Overall, this thing handled pretty well. It did pretty decent. I only had few bumps on the rail, but it's not really the car's fault there. I mean, sometimes you're gonna have to, well, it's a game, so it's not gonna be really every time we're gonna get it perfect. Of course, sometimes you're gonna crash and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna be too hard on the car. But the car definitely handles super well. I do like it a lot, and the oversteer is not really that major of a problem. I mean, it makes it a little more fun. You want a car that handles well but can also give you some fun, so this thing can handle well and can also give you some fun. So I'd say it's a nice car, plus you don't really have to pay for it. It's pretty much unlocked by miles, so that's another advantage. But I love this thing a lot, and I love the sound. I realized they added a different sound to a lot of cars in the game, but I mostly noticed different with Mercedes. I'm not sure about all of the other cars, but I'm gonna have to see. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found it helpful.